from the heart of Old Town. Community radio for the London Borough of Croydon.
Using basic radio principles.
This is Croydon Radio.
That's right, you are listening to Croydon Radio with me, Tom C. This is the Saturday show. I'm now joined on the line all the way from Trinidad, which I'm very excited about. Never been there, but it seems like a lovely country. She is also an author, and she's here to talk to us about her book, Broken Chains. She is Emiliya Amadova. I probably got that completely wrong, but Emiliya, are you there? Are you live joining us from Trinidad?
Yes, I'm here.
Emiliya, it's lovely to have you on the show. I've never had a guest from Trinidad.
Thank you.
I've never had a guest from Trinidad before, so it's great to have you on the show. What's the weather like out there right now?
The weather is here warm
Okay.
and sunny as usual.
Well, unfortunately, here in London, it is raining, which is how it always is. So I wish we could have swapped with you. But so, Emiliya, tell us a little bit about your book, Broken Chains.
Broken Chains, it is a novel which is fictional. It's about a generation. It starts from the main protagonist's parents and it moves into her life. This is a book that shows the struggle of a woman that goes through many tribulations as well as emotional abuse. But at the end, she finds a strength to get out, and she gets out of a situation and starts a new life. So this book was written in a such way that it's going to help many women as well as men to get out of their negative situations, gain hope, and it also will bring people to God. But it's very interesting. It also not only makes readers to cry or go through emotional feelings. It introduces them to a new culture because this story is happening in Azerbaijan. So it's something new. They will come across Azeri wedding, Azeri culture, their point of view, thinking. So it is something new that I don't think readers came before. Across.
That's interesting you mentioned that. I mean, I don't know personally a lot about Azerbaijan culture, for example. What made you decide to base the book around Azerbaijan or at least use the culture in your story?
Because I am from Azerbaijan. I am Azeri. I'm not from Trinidad. I live in Trinidad.
And
so I wanted the...
Sorry, I was going to say, is it important? Do you think it's important for you to let people know about the culture? Do you think that people maybe don't know enough about Azerbaijan?
This is not only about culture. It is also about, you see, people nowadays, they see the culture of Muslim people differently. Sometimes they condemn them. Sometimes they don't understand them. When you live in Muslim world, you are facing sometimes stigmatization. You are, for example, certain things, they are not acceptable. So I want the readers to see how Muslim women deal, for example, with cheating, with abuse, with the shame. So it is the world of a Muslim woman that I am showing to the Christian world.
And what type,
their struggles.
What type of things do you think people would be surprised about in terms of, as you say, in looking inside like Muslim women's society? What type of things do you think would surprise people who maybe didn't know a lot about that type of culture?
I mean, some people, they came across a culture, but the people, sometimes they don't know what is for example, inside of her mind. What makes her, for example, to do certain things or to react differently. And my book shows that sometimes because of society, we are living our lives differently. We don't live our lives fully because we're always afraid to cause a wrong impression or to be ashamed of something. And that's what sometimes happening, for example, in Azerbaijan. For example, while I growing up, for example, in our country, you will not see a Muslim woman having a sexual relation with a man before marriage. It is something bad.
Now,
but in a Christian world, it considers something as a normal and acceptable.
So let's talk a bit about your background and in terms of how you came to writing this book. Is this your first novel?
Yes, this is my first novel. I always have been thinking about writing something that will help many women to get out of their negative situations. And because most of my friends have been abused in some way, and hearing their stories and seeing that society cannot understand why the victims of abuse behave or react in a certain way, and they don't know how to help them, and sometimes ignorant, I decided to write something that not only will entertain the readers, teach them or guide them, and also will help the victims of abuse to get out of their situations and stand up for their rights.
What would you want people who read the book, what would you like them to take away from the story? What would you want them to ultimately learn by the time they finished reading Broken Chains?
I would like them to learn that in this life is everything possible. No matter what hardships you are facing, once you put your hard work and you make every step to achieve your goals or get out from negative situations, you will. And also, I would like them to know that those who are going through hardship, they are not alone. God is with them, and He will help them, and they will find the light at the end of dark tunnel. Once they themselves acting as a change agent and make every step to get what they need.
So it sounds like even though many of the things that you are covering in the novel are quite sad things and could be quite depressing, it sounds like ultimately you're trying to give an uplifting story.
Yes, my whole book is not a depressing because the book covers many issues that every reader will be able to relate to them. You will see in a book joy, you will see something depressing or something that will anger to you, but you will see also many positive things, and that's what makes book more useful.
So tell us a little bit about how you started writing the book. I know that it's a big book. It's over 100,000 words in total. You've got 15 chapters. That seems like a lot of work. And for someone this is their first book, it seems very daunting, the task of having to write a book. So what made you finally decide to sit down and actually write that book?
Okay, I wanted to write this book for about 10 years, and I didn't know how to start it. Then one time, I don't know, during my bronchitis, when I was sick, lying down in bed, and I just got inspired, and I suddenly knew how to start it, and I started just writing.
And did you write? Were you using a computer? Are you writing by hand? What was the method you used to get all the words out?
Computer. I don't like writing by hand. I would rather to type.
And once, so how long was it from start to finish that you wrote the whole book?
It took maybe about 2 years because I was stopping. For example, when I started studying in university, I stopped for about 6 months, and then I start back. Writing itself did not take too long, but the editing part, that what was taking too long, because every time I write, I have to go back, reread and add. So that part was taking too long.
So once you'd finished writing the book, did you show it to anyone, and what was the feedback that you got?
Oh, I got very good feedback from a reader's favorite.
Who did you
I got
show
feedback from... Sorry?
Who did you show it to first? And what did they think? Was it a friend, family?
Yes, I showed to my friends. They said they were surprised. They said that it looked like my book really going to help many, and they're just waiting for it to be published so they can read, because I don't like to show my book to anyone before it's published unless the person reviewing my book.
So, I mean, it's your friends, you've got great feedback from them, and then I guess at that point you've got to decide, right, I'm gonna get this published, or I'm going to start selling it, I'm gonna get it out there. So were you worried at all? Were you scared that now I'm releasing this out into the world, I wonder what other people are gonna think?
No, I am not the kind person who scared of the things. If I put my mind onto something, I go ahead without fears. But I know that some people may accept the book, some may not, and I'm fine. For me, most important, it reached the audience who needs hope or help or struggling. Once they read that and they know how to change their lives, I will be happy.
So I know, as well as Broken Chains, now is Broken Chains available to buy right now?
No, I'm still looking for a publisher.
As well as this, though, I suppose you're hoping to get it published within the next 6 months or so, by Christmas?
Yes. Currently, I have a publisher who's looking at reviewing Broken Chains, and as well as Across the Darkness, which is my second book.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. What's Across the Darkness about?
Across the Darkness, it is a mystery book that has 7 stories, short stories in it. And each story relates to the issues in that country. For example, let me tell, as you know, in America, you will see bullying in schools. You will see bullying everywhere throughout the world, but you will read more, it happened in America. So one story, Revenge, covers bullying, but it has mystery, spirit in it. But what makes my book good, it covers every country, 7 countries, and it's at the end it ends with good ending.
I do like.
So you'll come come across demons, astral flight, and then psychic readers, spirits in that book.
Are you a big believer of demons and astral flight and of that kind of thing? It's something that I find quite fascinating, and I know some people really believe in that type of thing. Is it something that you wrote about because you're interested in it, or you just thought it would make a good kind of book?
Oh, okay. No, what I do believe that there God exists, and also there are demons and angels. So since I believe and I know the work of demons and angels, I try to show in my book, which is one of the stories in Across of Darkness, called Glimpse of the Future. This is a story that happened in Trinidad, and I'm showing how drinking habit of somebody and also incorporated demon in there, how affect the person's life and family, as well as Job. So everyone knows that sometimes demons, they try to remove people from the right path and put them on a wrong path. So I'm showing that in my story.
So I guess all of these stories have some sort of moral, or I guess it's a way for people to learn from and maybe change the way they live.
Yes, you guessed correctly. Yes, every book, every story that I write, it has a moral and a guidance. I try to teach people, I try to show them and entertain at the same time.
And as well as both of those books, so Broken Chains and Across the Darkness, I know you're also working on a children's book as well. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yes, children's book. It's called My Twin Sister and I. And that book, I decided to write for my children because they're very interested in my books. They want to read my Broken Chains, Across the Darkness. But I told them that I'm going to write the book that they can read. So that's why I started writing that book for them. And that plot happening in Cuba, it's about Cuban family. And again, in that book also, I'm showing some issues. So for example, issues with dealing with HIV, where the family member of sisters, let's say uncle, he comes back from America with HIV, and I'm showing how he's treated and stigmatization about weight, how... As you know, when somebody find out that someone has HIV, they start treating the person different way and afraid that they will get too. So I'm showing all of that in a book.
That's quite a heavy, serious issue to cover in a children's book. It must be quite hard.
Yes,
it must be quite hard to write it in a way that children would be able to understand.
Yes, yeah. I wrote in a such way that it will be more acceptable by the children.
So we've got 3 books that will hopefully be coming out this year. All sound very different. So fingers crossed that everything goes really well. If any of our listeners, so they won't be able to get their hands on the book at the moment, but if any of them would like to know more about you, or if they would like to follow your journey, where should they go online? Where's the best way to find out more about you?
Oh, I have a web page which is www.emiliya.com, and they can find me on Facebook by typing Broken Chains by Emiliya Akhmadova. So they will find my page.
Excellent. And Twitter?
Yes, so Twitter will be also Emiliya. So Emiliya. So they type also Emiliya.
Well, Emiliya, thank you very much for joining us today. Wish you all the best with the books. Apart from the 3 that we've mentioned, do you have any ideas for any future books in the pipeline?
Yes, I have many ideas. The next book I want to write, it will be Kidnapped in Caribbean. It is about a French couple that come to Trinidad, and a woman gets kidnapped. But before husband leaves, he thinks his wife is dead because they're going to find her body, but that will not be actually her body. So he will leave, and then I'm going to make sure that the same French woman, she lose her memory. She forgets her husband, and then she's going to fall in love with the kidnapper. So I will start from there.
Well, I'm already hooked. I'm ready. I'm looking forward to that one. So next, when that's written, get that out of your head, get it down on the paper, and you got to come back on the show, and we'll talk more about that. Emiliya, thank you very much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
And we will hopefully speak to you again very, very soon.
Bye. And thanks.
Big thank you once again to our second author of the afternoon, Emiliya, joining us all the way from Trinidad. And I should note that Emiliya's book, Broken Chains, has already been reviewed, although not available to everyone right now. It has already been reviewed by publishers and it's got 5-star reviews. So it's definitely one to watch out for. Definitely be picking up my copy as soon as it hits Amazon and all other Waterstones and other good book retailers.